If you're trying to land a sales job in the high ticket world, here are the 7 things that you should absolutely never do in a sales interview. My name is Sami Meibar, and over the past 4 years, I've helped build some of the best sales teams in the world. We've generated over 40, now closer to $50 million in revenue, and I've interviewed a lot of salespeople through my time. And for some reason, these same 7 points come up time and time again, and for me, they're red flags and an automatic reason for me not to hire someone. So if you're trying to land a job, make sure you don't do any of these mistakes. The first one is bad mouthing every single company that you've worked with. Coming to the interview and telling me I've hated company A and B and C and D and E, and telling me all the mistakes that they've had. Well, look, I understand. You've probably worked with a couple companies and they weren't good companies. That's fine. You've worked with some sketchy people. But for every single company that you've worked with to be a red flag, that actually tells me it may not be all the companies, it may be you. Even if it's true, do not start bad-mouthing every other company. Instead, tell me the great things they did and then tell me where they fell short. I would actually trust you more when you do that. The second one is coming to the interview telling me that you can close anyone. Now, I did this mistake and it actually cost me my first sales job ever. The founder of Snow Queen Vodka knew a friend of mine and reached out and told me they wanted an interview with me. So I was in London at the time, I was very excited, and I sat down with one of the people who was really high up in the sales ladder. And I remember saying the words, because I really thought I was hot shit back then. I was 19 years old, and I said to him, he was talking to me about my sales strategy and all that stuff, and I'm like, hey man, I can sell snow to an Eskimo. And I thought that was like the coolest line to drop in a sales interview. Come to find that the reason why they didn't hire me was because I said that line. In fact, the founder, or the founder's son actually, really wanted to give me the gig because he had seen some of my YouTube videos in the past, different channel, different company, and he had seen some of my stuff, and he was like, I like the guy, I like the way he talks, I like the way he presents himself, but me saying that line cost me the job. So when someone comes to the interview overly cocky and they say I can close anyone, it gives me that same level of thinking of, I was just that young and immature myself. That's not going to help your case at all. The third worst thing you can say on a sales interview, at least with me, is telling me that you have limited hours. Coming to the call and saying, hey, I can only work 9 a.m. to noon, Monday to Thursday, and then Friday I'm completely off. That's great if that's the lifestyle that you want to have, but that's not a position I would place you at. Because for me, especially if I'm placing you in a position where you're a salesperson, every hour you're not on the call is an hour the company isn't making money. And if the idea is we can put 7 or 8 or even 9 hours worth of calls on your calendar, we'd like you to be there for those hours. Now, I get it. Some people can do 7 hours maximum, and that's okay. But telling me that you have 3 hours in a day and that's all you can do really puts a red flag on my line. And I'm not going to say I'm going to hire you. I'm going to say on the spot, hey, this may not work out. The people that go above and beyond and say, hey, I can actually work all the time and I'm happy to take calls on a Saturday or Sunday, those are the people who show initiative, and that gets me excited because I know that person has a serious work ethic, that they're trying to crush it in this field. The fourth one completely grinds my gears, and I don't understand why. It's a flex that a lot of people think it's an important flex to show, but it's not the flex you think it is. And it's when you tell me you're trying to build your own business separately. While that's fantastic, and I'm proud of you, and I'm excited for you, don't tell me that in an interview. In fact, don't ever tell that in any interview, because it shows that you're not fully dedicated and focused. Even if it's true, don't tell me. I don't want to hear about your side projects, your agency, your whatever else you're trying to build on the side, because all that tells me is you're not going to take this seriously. This is a side gig for you until you can build your thing. If I'm looking to work with someone and build something, I want to grow for the long run. I don't want you here for just a couple of weeks to make a couple of grand and then just bounce. I need you here full-time focused, and you're saying, hey, I want to be here for 3 years, not 3 weeks. Telling someone you're building a business on a sales interview isn't the flex you think it is. The fifth thing is, I don't really need training, or, I know you have a script, but I like to do things my way. While that's fantastic, even the best basketball players in the world always had coaching, and they were always training. They were always trying to get better at the skill. So as good as you may be and as talented as you might think you are, there's always further training that you could do. Till date, I still take training. I still go into seminars and webinars and buy masterminds and go through all the training because I want to know what else is out there. How can I improve? I'm not telling you that you're going to take every single piece of this and learn brand new information, but there's always 1% tweaks that you can create, you can add to your existing arsenal of tools that can make you better and better every day. So when someone tells me I don't need training, it just shows me they have the wrong mindset for sales. Next is not having your metrics from the past. and someone who comes to me and I say, hey, what was your show rate? What was your close rate? And they don't have those numbers. They're like, oh, I never tracked that. It kind of shows me poor CRM management. And then on the other end of the spectrum, when someone tells me, oh, I've got an 80% close rate, that starts to also give me red flags, because there's no such thing as an 80% close rate. Unless you are working with a company that really filtered amazingly well and gave you only the cherry-picked best candidates, and those are the only people you spoke to, then yeah, maybe. But more so than not, when someone tells me that, it sounds like they cherry-pick things and they stack the numbers in their favor versus just taking the calls that they should have been taking. So when I hear, hey, I don't really know my metrics, or very exaggerated closing percentage, it starts to show little red flags. And for me, that's something that I'm not very comfortable with, and I probably wouldn't hire someone who wasn't good at CRM management or inflated their numbers just for the sake of inflating their numbers. Number 7 is, I'm just here to make a lot of money. And look, whoop-de-doo, aren't we all? We're all here to make a lot of money. But for me, something that I've realized is the people who are there to just chase the shiny, chase the money, chase all that, while they're great in the short run, they don't have the long-term vision. And I'm a huge believer in alignment. If I want to work with someone, I just want to hear something slightly more unique about what is their driving factor. Some of the best people I've worked with, their driving factor was a lot bigger than them. It was a lot bigger than just the cash. It was, hey, I want to help retire my mom. Hey, I want to help my dad never have to work again. Hey, I want to help pay off this, pay off that. Or, hey, I want to build this amazing life for me and my kids. And that's the kind of stuff that gets me excited. So if you don't have that, sit down before your sales interview and start asking yourself the question, what do I really want to strive for? What is my driving factor? Because when I bring that to the call, that's what's going to make me stand out from every other person who wants to make money. Yes, we get it. We're all here to make money. But what else is there? What makes you unique? In my years and all the interviews that I've done, those are the red flags. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you like this content, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.